When we last left our heroes, Nara the Drow Sorceress, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, Danir the Catman Wizard, and future Asmo the Snackman from the dystopian future found themselves in a bit of a toasty pickle, as the wrong introduction from Danir sent the mighty Dreadworm Nidhogg into a psychological breakdown, spewing fire and fury in all directions. To make matters worse, the Jester of Bordeaux chose this moment of weakness in the dragon to attempt to fulfill his grand design and steal the body of the beast once and for all. Facing down the forces of the Jester and the tantrum of the dragon formerly known as Garrick, Brightscale, the party acted quickly and diligently to not only save their own lives and the soul of Garrick, but the potential lives of all those who yet reside on Marmaria. Doing battle on both the physical plane and in the realm of dreams deep within the mind of the Red Dragon itself, the party fought long and hard, and finally, with a coordinated attack, were at long last able to vanquish the Jester. This afforded Yorick a long-awaited tearful reunion with his brother's shattered mind deep within the dreamscape. Though it was short-lived, Garrick made a steadfast vow to do no harm to those who risked their lives to save him. But with his mind still in the throes of an ancient madness, can he live up to that promise? Danir, you and Yorick, shortly after Garrick is pulled back into that obelisk at the very center of his mind's core, are shunted out of the dreamscape, and you slowly but surely begin to awaken on the volcanic floor of this Kuldara. Asmo, Wolfgang, you stand above the beheaded corpse of the Jester of Bordeaux, Wolfgang staring down into the glimmering silver cage that now houses the soul of Fezziwig Grinspire. Nara,
would have preferred we killed him a long time ago, but I'll take it.
Well, with any luck.
He sort of holds up the cage and dangles it slightly in front of him.
He may help us do just that, or maybe even a preferable outcome.
Meanwhile, little ass is still trying to play with the incorporeal form of Spike. Wolfgang, Asmo, you kind of feel a chill run up your spine as you look over to your side where the sleeping red dragon was, to see that the eye is now open, its slitted gaze squarely glancing between you two. It then glances down to the body of the Jester. Back up to you, Asmo.
What just happened?
Defense is held.
Where was I?
Asmo doesn't know how to answer that question.
He sees your face kind of befuddled at that. Guessing you just kind of give him a bit of a shrug.
Asmo makes a face of, dude, you know I don't know magic shit. Come on, man. I don't.
You seem to be. The Jester had a plan. Came in with one, but what he wasn't expecting were our guests. At least as far as I can tell, he wasn't planning on it.
Wolfgang and Asmo, make me a dexterity check or a dexterity save as Nidhogg begins to stir the piles and piles of gold coins that you are standing on begin to kind of like rumble and shift beneath your weight.
My guy just
That's a 16.
All right.
This is a dexterity check, you said? Saving throw?
Save.
Dexterity saving throw.
Ah!
Oh.
That's a natural 20, Nick. Okay, can I do it with, like, can I just, like, slide down the gold thing with my hands behind my back?
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're kind of used to, like, you're kind of used to loose footing by now, Asmo, so you just kind of cock your feet back and almost like you're riding a pair of Heelys. God, I'm old. Slide down this pile of gold.
No, that's
Wolfgang...
literally. I imagined him just kind of just like keeping his positioning gun and just like naturally sliding down the hill.
Yeah.
Like
Wolfgang, it's a little unsure for you, but luckily you're able to kind of maintain your balance, if a little less gracefully than Asmo.
Yeah, I like have my wings spread out to help me maintain balance. Whoa.
Nidhogg begins to crane his head around, looking at the surrounding area. The lava that was very much boiling and kind of creeping up the edge of the volcanic rock kind of begins to subside a bit as clarity begins to take over the dragon.
I was in danger?
Yeah.
Me.
Oh, yeah. As I said, a long time ago, no one's ever truly safe.
Denier, as you're kind of getting back up to your feet, Yorick is kind of shakily standing up. You can see tears kind of streaming down his eyes still as he's waking up. And Yorick looks over to Nidhogg and quickly wipes the tears from his eyes. And
Denier reaches out and he taps his fist against Yorick's chest. And under his breath, Denier mutters,
To him, you've always been a hero. That's why, in his mind, you had so much power.
Motherfucker, I need to make a wisdom save for that. He starts crying again.
Denier gives a little bit of a smile, puts his arm around Yorick, and starts walking him over towards Nidhogg slowly.
Alright, feel free to position yourself. I mean, this is still essentially a battle map, but all movement for right now is just flavor, unless something else happens. But yeah, Yorick will basically kind of stick with you.
Yeah, Denier's leading him over.
As he regains his composure. As he's passing by you, Nara, he looks to you. How wounded are you?
I'm not great. I'm at a third-ish of my health. Lower than.
Yorick just gives you a very, stern and knowing nod as he passes by.
Puts it
One of those, you did good, soldier kind of nods.
She tiredly puts up a thumbs up, yeah, awesome.
And he kind of gives you a little bit of a smirk at that, and he just kind of says,
I can see why he likes you.
and he hops over the lava.
Okay.
Her eyes get all wide. She looks around like, wait, what? Wait, what?
With no battle left to command, kind of like a Mega Man warp, the electricity the electrical form of Spike just zaps back out through the opening of the volcano, and Little Ass is incredibly confused.
Nara looks over at Lil Ass and just like,
Come on, baby. Let's go. Come on.
Do you like, so you just call him?
yeah, she just like gestures as she starts
Boom, 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 boom.
heading over across everything. Up.
He seems a little less than eager to hop over the like bubbling lava.
She
Kinda
gestures
he
like
kind of leans down and sniffs it a little bit.
I'm just
Oh
reminded
my
of
God.
Meet the Robinsons T-Rex.
she makes the like big to small gesture and then hops back over.
Go ahead and give me an animal handling. See if he understands.
12.
Sure enough, he seems to kind of get that you want to hold him. He shrinks back down, not to the size where you could like hold him in a papoose, but you could probably hold him in your arms at this point.
Okay, she's like,
Oh God! Why did you?
He's
Like-
very wiggly.
picks him up and just runs and jumps. God, I hope I don't have to. Okay, great. It's like, if you make me roll for that, I will be so mad.
I was tempted, but
Ah, don't you fucking dare.
he got a nat 20 on his comprehension, so I'm just gonna
Okay,
say, nah,
awesome.
he'll chill.
God.
He's like the size of a medium dog right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Nidhogg continues to look around, still kind of bewildered. His eye kind of rests on you for a moment, Danir, and you get this sort of sense of a vague, distant recognition.
You were the one who began this.
Danir gives a little bit of a nod, and he gives a bow. My apologies. I knew what the jester planned to do, and I sought to stop it. I did not intend to incur your wrath.
He seems almost kind of like perplexed with himself for a moment. Like he feels like he should be conflicted right now, but he isn't.
Well, all that matters is that I am here now.
And kind of stretches his wings out. At full span, they kind of eclipse the opening of the volcano that you can see behind him. Just kind of like, basically strutting his stuff, just kind of like showing off here.
And no worse for wear. For that, you have my gratitude.
And Asmo and Yorick, this catches both of you very much off guard. I don't know why I'm speaking to Yorick as if I'm not him. But you have not heard the phrase thank you or gratitude ever come out of Nidhogg.
You see Asmo kind of going, okay.
You came here for a purpose.
His eyes kind of shift around, kind of sweeping from Wolfgang back over to Yorick.
And while I am not a patient worm, I will humor whatever your mission is.
He pauses, waiting for a reply.
Wolfgang's gonna slowly float back over to his friends.
Is he directing that towards Asmo or Yorick?
He's directing it towards, well, the three newcomers mainly, but these newcomers also seem to, I I mean, they traveled in here with you, so clearly he knows that you know them.
Everyone's been quiet. Nara's eyes dart around a little bit.
Sweet.
We were looking for leave to traverse through your lands as we wish to go west.
You were wise to ask my favor rather than incur my wrath in such an intrusion.
He sort of like tips his hat and bows slightly.
If that is all you desire, then you may leave my lands at your leisure, to the east or west.
We are most grateful.
You can see, like, he still has this look of confusion on him, like he's glancing at the very least, you Wolfgang and you Denier. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Okie doke. 20
Oh.
16.
Wolfgang, you get the sense that he has a vague recollection of you. Every time he kind of like glances past the two of you, it seems like something kind of flashes in his mind. But especially you, for some reason, you get that sense that, like, looking into his eyes, there's a corruption there that seems like thinner than it was before.
I sort of look to Denier and Nara, see if they wanted to say anything as well.
Denier takes a moment and he straightens himself up a bit. There are a number of reasons why we came here. The first was to warn you of the Jester Bordeaux's plans and to stop his will from becoming reality. We have completed that task. The
It
second,
would seem.
indeed, the second, of course, is to seek your permission to pass through,
Which you
But-
now have.
and I humbly thank you for that. There is a pair of enemies that seeks to do this world more worse than good. We pass through your lands to try to find one of two weapons to assist in our battle of this great foe. A tree that bleeds, and its subsequent servant, one of which I believe we have already put down, but the other is far more of a threat. We seek the knowledge of one that is beyond. We also seek a pair of objects. We do not know where they are. One a ring, the other a black orb. And he'll minor image and show the sphere of annihilation. It said that once the ring, and he motions towards his staff, are combined, it can create a weapon strong enough to defeat this foe which seeks to destroy our world.
Then it would appear I have naught to fear, as both are in my possession.
What?
He glances over to you.
They are both in my possession.
You know, I really shouldn't be surprised about that, considering
She gestures at the massive pile of gold.
They came in with a prisoner, of all things. A young elf.
Asma just slowly turns to Wolfgang.
Yeah. Those of you that recall these items know that they were last in possession of Hackless, so this isn't too much of a shock.
Huh.
So, could we have him? Please?
He looks at you, and from what you can tell from draconic facial expressions, it appears as though he's smirking. He kind of begins to chortle, like a deep chest chortle, just a...
Asma starts laughing all of it. Like really smitherings it. Like, that's good, sir.
You would not come seeking a piece of my hoard.
No.
What belongs to me is mine. You have my gratitude, and you can take your leave. My gift to you are your lives.
I believe they will need a guide to leave this area to make sure they do it in the most efficient manner, so I will take them. I'll be taking several days' leave.
Nara
You will
lights
have
up
that.
and bounces.
Then you will have that boon as well. Under the guide of the commander, you will be able to come and go as you please, so long as you do not outstay your welcome or incur my wrath.
It is exceedingly generous of you, almighty Nidhogg.
Asma kind of bobs his eyebrows up and down when when he says that. Like, wrath. Like, yeah, you've seen that now.
Nara is using all of her internal strength not to quip because they'll die.
Saying in her head, like a stand-up act.
She's
for
looking at
real.
Asmo, and Asmo, even though they haven't seen each other in 30 years, can hear every single thing she wants to say.
I know you can read my mind, Nara. Meow 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 meow.
Internal screaming.
Will that be all?
Daenerys bows. That is all that I could possibly ask. Thank you, great Nidhogg.
He looks up at the night sky above the lip of the volcano.
Should you desire, you can stay in the barracks.
Another strange look crosses his face as he says that. Wolfgang, with your insight, it's kind of like a "what the fuck did I just say?" kind of look that he just gives himself.
Did that come out of my mouth?
Hey, Nick,
Yes.
what does Nidhogg know about Solomon? Do we know that he knows? I cannot recall.
You have not asked, so you do not know what. Like, I guess you could. Whatever Nidhogg might know, Asmo might also know at this point. But
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Nidhogg kind of like
Real
shakes his
quick.
head after offering that, and then he looks back to you now that you're talking.
Do you know anything about Solomon?
Asmo just kind of closes his eyes and inhales.
Only what I need to. I know that he harnesses great power, but he seems to be more keen on hiding than flaunting it.
Yeah, he does that.
No, he flaunts it with no one to see.
Asmo scratches his chest.
He looks back down to you, Asmo.
Well then, I suppose you could serve 2 missions then. Guiding them. And seeing what you can find out about the actions of the god who would be king.
Wait, what?
It would be my absolute pleasure.
God who would be king?
Yeah, Nick, do I understand the context of what he just said? The god who would be king?
Yeah, it's he says it almost kind of in a joking fashion, kind of poking back at ancient history. The fact that he once ran a conquest from the north to the south and then just fucking gave up.
Ah, it's a lot of work. He couldn't manage resources.
Well,
yeah, never started a war in the winter.
He nods down to you, Asmo.
Then take your leave, and take them with you.
Yeah.
It has been a trying evening, and my patience wears thin.
Do you want us to take that out?
She points at the jester's headless body.
Not yet. But if you're hungry, you can take the other one over there.
All right.
And with that, York kind of like turns to the side, nods to you, looks back, salutes to Nidhogg, and starts to usher you out. But before he makes his turn to go, Nidhogg chimes in,
Yorick.
and once again a confused look crosses his face.
Stay behind. There is a matter I feel I need to discuss.
And
Shall I stand guard as well?
No,
Okay.
you take them to rest.
Alright.
I just finished sliding down the gold.
And with that, find your way. Asmo can lead you out of this chamber, where you'll be greeted by several very confused, kind of anxious-looking soldiers and guards. Each of who are kind of like holding their tongue as you're walking out of there, like charred, bleeding, burned, and in all manner of ways, just kind of battle worn. You can tell there's like a immense amount of curiosity from them, but they're at your presence, Asmo, not going to just kind of chime in and ask anything.
So,
I just don't know what to ask at this point.
Smo, do you still have that ring?
what ring?
The body ring?
Oh my god, where did I put that?
You might still have it somewhere in your personal effects, but you haven't used it in a long, long time.
I have not used it in like fucking forever now. I remember putting it in the... I set it down right by the...
Asmo just closes his eyes. Asmo might have misplaced it.
You can give me an intelligence check if you'd like to see if you.
Oh,
do
my
know
dump
where it
stat?
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do it.
Nice, Mary. Is it insight or investigation?
Intelligence.
Just intelligence.
Or just base intelligence? Yeah.
12.
It's in my room.
Maybe.
It did not leave my personal belongings knowingly.
There.
Did?
Nara
Good.
looks at the jester body double.
For it.
Blink. Blink.
Little ass just kind of reaches his mouth down to the jester and just rips off a chunk of flesh.
I just watched the
Stop
Suicide
it.
Squad, so just some king shark eating.
Monster nom nom.
Is the jester's sword just laying there on the doppelganger?
It appears that his magical gear is all on the main body, which is over by Needhog.
I'm not going back for that.
That's why I was
Nidhogg's body
asking
right
about
now.
it. But later,
So, if you could get that ring, maybe we would find some people faster.
blink, blink.
I'm gonna have to find that ring before we leave.
Yeah, and before this thing starts to stink.
No, the guards are just gonna pile out the bodies and.
No. We can.
Send
it.
Asmo just like literally like just taps her on the shoulder.
You know Nidhogg's gonna eat those bodies as a flex. You know that, right?
Well, he has
Just
to poop
imagining Nidhogg.
eventually.
I just imagine Nidhogg like. Yeah.
He's
after
big
the
enough
scar.
that he'd probably be able to like swallow it whole.
Oh yeah.
Damn it.
But you're right about the ring. I never even thought about that. So
Well,
long.
I would like to send this one with a message to someone.
All right, once I get you to the where you guys are staying, come back with me and we can look through my bedroom for it. think
I
have
can
it
help
here.
you find it.
I wouldn't mind
Are you
seeing-
gonna carry the body with you, or?
Oh yeah, she's been dragging it.
Okay.
All right. By the way, this is ours. This is for research purposes. Everybody, research.
Everyone just
Delicious research.
The
So
guards
much
don't.
fucking research.
Yeah, the soldiers and guards don't ask questions, but you can tell that more were just added to their pile.
Oh boy.
It could be worse. Could be a lot more.
All right, with that, what would you guys like to do for the evening now that you can finally rest?
Well, Asmo's gonna look for that dang ring, so Nar gets off his goddamn ass.
Yep.
All right, you head.
I'll
you
help.
assist? All right, everybody heads back to Asmo's room.
Slumber party.
I also have the magic eye I haven't been using, so now I'm gonna use my magic eye.
Yes,
What
which
do your
helps
magic
you
eyes
see
do?
through illusion. So if for some reason you made the ring invisible, you'd be able to spot it. So
I will likewise use detect magic.
all right, there are a lot of magic items just amongst Asmo's shit. Various things that he's collected throughout the years. Some things possibly confiscated from prisoners. Some things that might just be trophies.
Oh, a
But-
lot of them are just things he's taken from guys who tried to kill him.
Yep.
Right now.
I
What do you do
will
with them all?
kill you with this dagger. This dagger. It was one of the greatest daggers of all.
Kill the dude.
All right, cool. Thank you. Got a cool ass dagger now.
Is it magical?
Uh,
I think.
I guess go ahead and give me a survival check with advantage as you're rummaging through all of your stuff to try to find this ring.
Just Asmo or all of us?
Asmo.
Okay.
Wolfgang's assisting him, so he gets advantage.
21.
Nice.
Sure enough, you're able to find the ring after some time of just like kind of scrounging through old chests, old things. You find, if you don't already have it equipped, you also find your old counterspell ring.
Oh, I already had that equipped, and it failed.
Okay.
Last fight.
That's right. So you have that. But you found Solomon's ring.
Okay.
Anybody got a piece of paper?
Yeah, I'm assuming
Probably.
just throwing paper around. Is that a shot at how clean and messy I am?
I do.
Well, I was gonna... It's a...
Oh,
Just give
right.
it to me.
What a message. Yeah. I'll just I'll go to the back of my like monster manual book and I'll tear out a page. I'll
Would
figure out
anybody
more in there.
around the jester's body like to give me a medicine check?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, it's a 6.
It's
More
dead,
focused on my note.
And
23.
that's not an elf's body.
Of course not.
It appears to be somebody who he magically enslaved.
Ah. I was
But he's
wondering.
wearing the outfit, right?
He is wearing the outfit. Apparently
Okay,
he had
perfect.
spares.
Of course. Well, if he makes his own clothes, then of course he makes... I can definitely picture the jester at a sewing machine making like 10 extra of his outfit to be like,
How
"Ooh,
may I
this is
change
going
the
to be
world
so
if I do
great."
not? How may I change the world if I do not dress for the occasion?
Exactly.
Look, his clothes get damaged a lot. Mending can only do so much, and this grand plan needed multiple of him.
So every time his outfit gets worn out, he just puts it on a slave and then
He just
wears
mind
one of the
slave
new
somebody.
ones. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
like this
take...
new one. It fits in the crotch better.
They're
I
poof
just-
pants.
He's just sewing on his couch like an old lady. He looks up at the camera. The things I do.
Oh, hello there.
Didn't see you come in.
This makes me seem less threatening, doesn't it?
Yes,
Honestly,
it does.
honestly, he sounds like every other person you commission for costumes. It'll be done soon at the
Oh my
convention.
god.
I have
Yeah.
to style the wig.
Oh my god. Hey, I'll have you. God.
Oh my god.
God.
Anyway, so Nara will write a note to Solomon about how we fought the original of this one. This is a clone, kind of explaining we're hanging out with Nidhogg, pretty casual. We're trying to figure out where you are. See you soon, question mark? Please don't kill anyone of us. Thanks, Nara.
Lani, I take the mask and the hat. If
Alright.
they're still there.
Yeah.
I know they're not magical, but they're going to be useful in the future.
Oh, the mask is magical.
Oh, his mask is magical? Nice.
In what way?
It appears to be illusion magic.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
makes
I
it
don't know
look
why I'm
more
telling
like
you this.
him.
Nobody's done a check. I'm just being very.
While they're doing
Well-
it, I'm going to ritual cast Identify.
Okay. So while you're doing that, you get your letter written out. Nara, go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 11.
Yeah, this plan should work just fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, why are you saying it like that?
Because there's no problem. You rolled for
Are
it.
you saying that in my like
You don't
faith in
think
myself?
anything's gonna go wrong.
You don't
I hate it,
see
Hunter.
anything.
That has given me such PTSD. Sarah makes fun of me at home about it now. I'll hear something. She's like, "You don't hear anything." Oh. Anyway,
Yeah, no, this plan should be fine. I'm
Great.
sure your message will get where it needs to go.
no. Fuck.
Yeah, you get it nice and written out, and do you just send the body?
Yeah, she'll tuck it in there and
Hold on.
look at Asmo and pat him on the shoulder.
You're up.
Asma punches the body right in the chest.
Sure enough, you see the glowing mark of Solomon's crest, and the body begins to disintegrate.
What was the count at this point?
It'd be 48 after this one, but, you know, I'll count it just this once. But if I go back in time and then we have to start over, it won't be. It will be like this one didn't happen, you know.
Nah, I think you'll have other things to worry about at that point.
You know, I don't even know why I still care about this. That feels relevant. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Denier, from what you can tell from the mask as you identify it, it appears to be a mask that will make the voice and facial features look like that of the jester, i.e. it'll make him look like he has elf ears. And the voice will match that of the jester himself. Or more so, the voice, like his voice can be projected through this mask.
Interesting. Very interesting. And the hat is not magical?
Does not seem to be.
Okie doke.
But it is big and fluffy.
It is.
And the feather is only mostly burned.
And it's red, which matches my motif.
Yeah, you can look like a foppish pirate.
Amazing.
You try it on and you look in the mirror and just take off the hat. And just
immediately the hat goes off.
Starts playing, take it off, put it on, starts playing again.
Yeah, put it back on.
So that's how the bastard did it.
It was a musical hat the whole time.
My God.
Yeah, you look like a ye olde pimp.
Oh my
Ye
God.
olde pimp. I believe they were called bordello proprietors.
You know, I can do anything in the dream world. You see that woman in the red dress? Grin.
Oh my god.
It was an illusion the whole time. At any given time in the Matrix, you must be careful.
Alright, with that, almost for certain, Nara is starting to feel exhausted. Having not had a proper rest in a day and a half.
Yeah, about that.
She, after sending the body, she's just like,
Okay.
Let's get you guys to
Finally.
bed.
she just crawls in Asmo's bed.
What do you...
They're already in his room, so.
Okay, I'm taking you guys where you gotta crash, apparently.
Yes, us two coat hats.
No. I'll take you to the board. I'll take you to...
Asma's still looking at her, just... I'm guessing she's just, like, rolling in the blankets.
She's starting to, like, burrito into it, and then she, like, stands up with it over her as a cape. And, she hands the little leash that she put back on Lil Ass to Wolfgang.
You have to watch him tonight.
He just looks at her displeased, but doesn't let go of the leash.
Then she gets back into the bed and, like, snores for a minute.
Wolfgang, give me an animal handling.
God.
Oh my God, yes!
Need one of these for Elliot. Animal handling. Let's try it. Natural 20 both ways. Here I go.
He is the scaly whisperer.
All right, come on, little fella.
As with many animals, Lil Ass seems very taken to you very quickly, and will begin following you now that the lead has been handed to you.
Yeah.
Nara looks up, like, scowls over the top of the blanket, very quietly under her breath.
Traitor.
Lani, before we leave Asmo's room, I use my final 4th level spell until I take my short rest to cast Sending.
To whom?
To Elliot Connolly. The message is very simple. The Jester of Bordeaux is dead. Nidhogg has been saved.
The message comes back. Sorry, counting out my words. After all this time, it's hard to believe. You have done more for this world in the short amount of time that you've been back than many have been able to in so long. We are in your debt.
And Denier relays that message to Wolfgang before they leave.
Well, when we get back, we gotta do it again. But at least here, things will be better.
One day at a time. That's the plan, at least.
Speaking of which, now we got help to make sure that happens. We should probably ask him some questions, see if he knows anything.
Sounds like a good plan.
You guys rest up well. Looks like we have a long journey ahead of us.
You guys are able to find a... it's not really a private room per se. It's kind of like the barracks here are kind of like a hostel, but you do have a nice little curtained off area with a bunk bed.
There you go. Rest well. I'll tell the guy who's in charge of this place to make sure everything's on the up and up. And get extra blankets. It's good seeing you guys. And if you told me when I woke up today how we would have ended the day, well, I wouldn't have believed anyone.
It's been crazy adventure.
I have not been this tired in a while. So if you excuse me, there's a pillow and a thin blanket on the floor with my name on it in my room.
Yeah.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Have a good night, Asmo.
Rest well.
Just as we're just a giant open snake, like yawn.
Wolfgang and Denier, is there anything that you'd care to do for the evening before retiring?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Connor.
I hold aloft the silver cage housing Beziwig's soul. And
Shake
my
it and
hand...
ask him why he's like this.
The cage will begin to glow faintly with a golden white light. Fezziwig Grin Spire. It is time to atone. You will answer my question, and you will answer it truthfully. Where did Solomon's demon take you 30 years ago? The last time we all saw each other.
The demon left with him shortly before Asmo's, if I'm correct, right? Like, he was disappearing as you guys were coming into fight.
Right.
Trying to see if he would really know. How do the answers come to you in this? Are they a feeling, or are they answered like verbatim? I can't remember how the spell works.
Let me query soul. You ask the soul a question and receive a brief telepathic answer, which you can understand regardless of the language used. The soul knows only what it knew in life, but it must answer you truthfully and to the best of its ability. The answer is no more than a sentence or two and might be cryptic.
I was in a palace of red crystal.
It looks up at Denier. He says he was in a palace of red crystal.
Probably Meternok's palace. At that point, I believe it was a massive floating city just outside of Lona Throne at that time.
Denier, when this is over, I'm turning your clothes blue. If I ever see the bloody color red again, I'll go insane.
Well, hopefully after all this is said and done, I won't need red anymore.
He at least recognizes where he was. He holds the cage up again, and it begins to glow once more. Show me. And I'm going to use Eyes of the Dead.
And Eyes of the Dead allows you to...
As an action, I can name a place that they saw in life, which creates an invisible sensor somewhere in that place if it is currently on the plane of existence you are in. The sensor remains as long as you concentrate for up to 10 minutes. I receive visual and auditory information from the sensor as if I was in its space.
Is that the space as it exists right now, or as it did when he saw it?
I don't have that information. It just says a place that they saw in life. If it's different or if it's changed location, I'm not sure if that would. It's essentially like scrying, but
I'm gonna go with it like as the rules of like this is what he saw.
Okay.
From the bleary look of kind of like just awakening eyes, you see kind of red crystal walls all around. They're translucent, but it's definitely a type of prison. Marching around outside, very confused. You can't hear anything, so but the beings outside seem very confused, kind of in a bit of a chaotic ruckus. They're kind of moving around. They look like they're arguing with each other. They are clearly demonic entities. Some more monstrous looking than others, and they appear to be arguing with themselves. A fight begins to break out, at which point the cell that Fezziwig is in gets damaged, who then kind of begins to... his vision begins to blur and shake and quake, and then is no longer himself. So there appeared to be a bit of a civil war that broke out with the demons just post the Lona Throne incident.
Huh. It seems like the demons are prone to inner conflict.
That's what I saw once I used the Mind Flare wand on one of them. They seem to be extremely chaotic in nature.
Apparently they've always been like that. From what I saw anyway. From what he saw.
still hate that the sorcerers or the Arcanonate are becoming these things.
I believe you still have one more charge of this, but you can use it at your leisure at any time, right?
I have 4 charges left,
Four
actually.
charges.
Yeah,
Four
I have
charges
6
left.
charges total. I have 6 charges total. I've just used 2 of them.
All right.
I will query soul. Do you remember anything that happened after that? If so, what?
Years of torment that led to madness. Who am I? Is this real?
Afraid so. He doesn't remember anything after that. Apparently he's been the jester for a long time. If I had to hazard a guess, immediately after he escaped from Meteornacht, he transformed into the jester and never turned back.
The jester mentioned how he wanted to see what happens when you push somebody to the brink, even past insanity. I imagine that's what happened to him. He said the journal was the one thing that actually helped keep him sane, and he hasn't had that in a very long time.
Courtesy of us.
Well, we're the ones that found it in the cave. He dropped it.
I got 3 more. Any ideas?
We know what happened. We know where he went. Maybe what his plan was between then and now. We know that he wanted your blood, but do we know if that was a primary thing even back in our old time, or was that something he learned about along the way?
No, Fezziwig, he brought that up in
Lona Throned.
Right, I blanked. He brought that up in Lona Throned. He was being kept there, and he wanted my blood. Felt bad, I almost gave it to him. But I knew it wasn't him that wanted it. I'll query soul again. What did the jester do to my blood? Want to do with my blood, rather. To make... What was the jester's plan with my blood to make Nidhogg vulnerable? I'm basically asking him how he made it. Or what the process of making it.
Trying to see how much of this he'd really know and comprehend.
And it's down to 2.
He sought to use the power in the light to further erase the soul that yet resided.
He wanted to use the power of your blood to basically eliminate the traces of Garrick that was still left in there.
I know, I just heard.
The light in abundance
erases all.
Wolfgang sort of pauses and swallows hard. He doesn't say that part out loud.
You've heard this before, the last time you met with your patron. If you ever want to hold back to, like, come back later, just let me know.
The thing is, the spell only lasts for 8 hours, so I have to use it now before the long rest, or else I'll lose it all.
Danier perks up for a second. What about the attack on your home? What if we find out what we can so that if he tries it in the old timeline, we can try to stop that?
See, I don't know. I don't know what he knows about that.
Fair.
This was mostly the jester's doing, and
what about any kind of safe houses or anything like that he might have so that we can maybe catch him at one of those, or, raid his supply houses?
possibly. Query Soul. That's 1 left now. Did you have any places you frequented? Any hideaways or hideouts?
We would return to my home, my chateau in Bordeaux.
He stayed in Bordeaux. Appropriately enough.
Makes sense. It's a ghost town, apart from the remnants of it. And your Shudder's still remembering the visions in Bordeaux. The Jester and Ramses hate each other, so I don't think that there'd be much of a connection there. One thing that I'm curious about, why did Ramses want the Jester? The Jester was some piece of it. Lani, is there a chance that I can roll like a history check or something to remember my last conversation when I was in the mind of Fezziwig to ascertain why Ramses wanted the Jester / Fezziwig?
I don't think there's anything that you gleaned from any of those experiences that would tell you exactly why.
Okay. Ramses went after the Jester and Fezziwig for some reason. I mean, Ramses used Fezziwig as a beacon to learn the location of Lono Throned. Maybe the Jester or Fezziwig knows exactly why?
Maybe I can think of a more appropriate question that Fezziwig would probably be a bit more familiar with.
By all means.
One last time, I'll query Soul.
Alrighty.
What is the Jester of Bordeaux?
As you say that, no words seem to come to mind, but almost as if unprovoked, images images of an ancient evil. You see a swirling torrent of black energy swirling above a forest, the land trembling and quaking, and at its center, with a vicious, malicious, gleaming smile, the horned, crystalline face of a being of madness, evil, and chaos, with clawed fingers stretched outright as this torrent, as this black miasma swirls around him, corrupting beings, creatures of the forest, men, women, children, all those that got caught in its wake. You see it looking into your eyes. And then the vision fades.
I see.
The only word that comes out. Evil.
I see. With that, the light from the cage fades and Wolfgang pops the top open. Go.
A feeble little string of a soul wriggles free and dissipates in the air. What was left of Fezziwig's soul seemed to be tattered rags of a soul.
I hope you can see your sister, wherever you went. He just sort of lets the silver cage lay slack on his belt, takes his hat off and scratches the back of his head. Well, Denier, not quite sure what I saw. I think my hunch was right.
That is?
That Ramses lied to you.
Yeah, I've been able to figure that part out. Nearly every word he's told to me has been a lie.
I recall seeing that staff of his with the crystal skull on the end of it. What I saw was eerily similar, but a being. I asked Fezziwig's soul what the jester was, and he just said, evil.
He is a piece of, at least at one time, a piece of the bleeding god. A piece of Ramses that broke away.
I'm starting to think it wasn't just a piece. part of me thinks that the Jester is the bleeding god.
Ganir shakes his head. Ramses is the bleeding god, Wolfgang.
He is now.
You think that the Jester was the bleeding god and then Ramses usurped him and cast him out?
This is all brand new territory. Never really experienced anything like this, but it makes sense when I think about it. Why the Jester hates Ramses so much. He took his seat. But there are other parts that don't make sense.
Hopefully that'll make sense in time. We've been able to put this many pieces of the puzzle together so far.
Well, one thing's been made crystal fucking clear. The Jester's got to go.
They both do.
Aye.
And as you both settle down to rest, Asmo, you wander back across the encampment and make your way back to your room. Nara, just due to everything that has happened, I would like you to roll a Constitution check if you desired to stay up.
We'll see if
She's snuggly and warm like a burrito.
yeah, we'll see, but just a regular Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Han.
Your eyes are incredibly heavy. You've almost certainly fallen asleep by the time he makes it back, unfortunately, if you just by the amount of time that has passed since you have last slept or rested in any way, shape, or form.
When he does get back, though, she has unfurled from the blanket burrito and scooched all the way against the wall, making it obvious there is space next to her.
I imagine kind of. Asmo goes to bed. And
everybody sleeps through the night, restfully and peacefully for the first time in a good long while, although with the day's events still wearing on you. And with that, we'll take a quick break here. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. Nara, you are inevitably the first one to awaken from your trance-like slumber.
Asmo has his arms wrapped around you.
Aww.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She wakes up to a cold body hugging her.
No, it's warm. It would be warm, so the cold blood would be getting warm. Dang it!
Her eyes, she like snuggles into what she thought was, she like forgot that she unblanket burritoed and like snuggles into it and is like,
oh my god, he took the bait? Holy shit.
and she like burrows her head back and up and like stares above her, which is probably where Asmo's head is. Slowly reaches an arm out and feels the top of his head, checking that it's real.
The leathery, the slick leathery scales are, in fact, there.
And she's only been asleep for like 4 or 5 hours because of her trance sleep, right?
We'll say just due to the fact that you'd lacked sleep, you slept in and got a solid 6.
Okay, but Asmo is probably still going to sleep for a while.
At least another hour or 2.
Okay. So she's awake, but she'll just like kind of worm her way to face inward and just rest her head on his chest, wrap her arms around him back, and just lay there until he wakes up.
Sure enough, as you cuddle in, the scars from the brand that Solomon left are still there on his chest, about the size of a hand.
She kind of traces at it. Nothing about it is active, correct?
I mean, it doesn't seem to do anything with you tracing your fingers across it. It's just really old scar tissue. Feels like calloused, frayed skin.
Okay.
Just a really old brand at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Another few hours pass, and Asmo, you would awaken. There's like your chest kind of tickles from where Nara was touching your scar, but
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sleep well.
I did. Woke up to a bit of a pleasant surprise, honestly.
as you say that, the wyverns outside begin to crow.
I gotta go feed the wyverns. Had chores to do. Alright.
Are you fucking okay? Well,
Gets up, he starts clopping his bones.
all right. I can go feed the wyverns with you.
I'd like that. Would you like to feed Nara?
I would love nothing more.
Asmo says that as he puts on his shirt. All right, all right, all right.
You guys make your way out. Most of the time, there are people who are there, like, tending to the wyverns as they each begin to crow as the sun starts lifting up over the visible mountain peaks. But you like to feed your own wyvern, take care of it. So you stop by the little livestock bin and you take whatever they manage to forage. This time you find semi-conscious doe.
Alright, make sure you feed it and hold your hands flat. I'm kidding.
I can't pick that up.
I know, you gotta lead it by the rope. Yeah, girl.
Oh.
This way.
It's very startleable, but it gets dragged along regardless. As it gets closer and closer to the covered area that, like, the nice little private cove that the dread wyvern Nara sleeps in, it starts to panic a bit, but you get it in there, and as you shove it in there, you hear all sorts of, like, whining and gleeful munching, and eventually silence. And then bones get spat out one after the other.
I think she likes you.
Yeah, the head of the large black draconic beast kind of peeks its head out, sniffs the air, looks down at Asmo, gives kind of a contented look and just kind of like rests its head on the ground.
Start scritching behind its Werven ear.
It leans into your pets. Wolfgang and Denier, as the wyverns crow, you it's kind of a startling wake-up call for you.
Oh, fuck! Oh.
Anyways, he starts blasting.
Oh god.
Oh no, Denier's new hat.
Oh,
Oh
right.
no.
Pew! Oh no, I hurt the hat.
To be fair, if you did see like just the jester's hat sitting as like one of the first things you wake up to, probably would be a reflex.
Blam!
So I start blasting.
Denier's just leaning over Wolfgang with the mask and the hat on. Denier immediately gets shot in the face.
Probably.
Didn't
Yeah.
like it. You could just
start
say so.
throttling you furry motherfucker.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh my god. Out in the wyvern, what are they called? Stables, I guess.
Yeah, for lack of any proper
Wyvernry?
term.
Well, I mean,
Wyvernry.
So kind of a lot happened the last 30 years, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. That much is true.
he's kind of just petting the Werven and like brushing its scales. I don't know. He's just doing his maintenance on his Werven. Looks back.
So you gotta fill me in.
On what?
The Deus stuff, the Kageroshi stuff. There's like a lot that I'd like to know about.
If you're trying to change the past, it won't have even happened then. Do you? That is.
Do I want to, you mean?
It's up to you. Nick, you're gonna have to fill me in on some of the details.
Sure. If there's any, I remember we went over this a long while ago, but I don't blame you for not remembering it. I have it all written down here in notes, so if you have any questions, just let me know.
Excellent. How long after the split did this occur?
Did which occur?
The fight with Deus.
God, that was probably about a year. Kageroshi had kind of taken you under his wing a little bit as everything else was kind of falling apart. For whatever reason, he seemed to show more favor to you than he did to Deus. Deus took exception to that and killed the man.
Deus killed Kageroshi?
Yeah, okay.
Assassination style.
And did Asmo kill Deus?
Yes. Basically, Deus, like, once Kageroshi was killed, he took Kageroshi's weapon and he tried to turn it on you, tried to assassinate you, but you ended up winning, and now you have that weapon.
Do you mean you or Asmo?
Asmo.
Okay.
You did not meet up with you, the Drow, until much later when you
No,
finally,
you the Drow just defeated everybody secretly off screen.
Oh, hey.
It is my secret power.
Oh my
I
god.
am very strong.
We all know that, though. It's not secret.
Mm.
One second.
So, Deus killed Kageroshi.
Oh, I was gonna... Oh, here, allow me to...
Okay.
Year out after, I guess that thing took a hold of me. A year out after that, everything was starting to fall apart real quick, and, alliances and lines were being blurred. I found myself working with Kageroshi.
As well as it keeps like kind of wiping down the scales.
And I worked with Kageroshi. I didn't have much else at that point. Took a liking to me, which was odd, given the circumstances. Deus and me were told to get along, and I listened. Deus, as he does, thought that the rules didn't apply to him. Or rather, he didn't have to listen to other people. He killed Kagurashi.
Oh.
Assassination style.
Can I say what Kagurashi was doing when he
Sure.
died?
I'll even let you fill in the blanks.
Kagurashi wanted to be left alone to meditate. It was a bad fight we had. He had to think on what he needed to do. Deus proclaimed that it was his time and he should wield the weapon. It wasn't. But those who believe they're right don't really care for the opinions of others. He must have been working on something. I still don't know how he got in that room. But he did. And while he was writing a letter, he got stabbed. And died. And Deus turned it on me. But Kagurashi was right. He wasn't ready. And it cut his goddamn head off.
Eye twitching. Back to brushing.
That was the first year back. So,
First?
oh yeah. That was only in the first year, after I came out of that other dimensional crap.
How did that stuff happen? For us, you just got eaten by a thing and then Wolfgang poofed you.
I remember we were fighting, and I can barely remember it, but
What was Asmo's first memory after he was freed from that prison?
I'm pretty sure we established that you woke up in what was essentially the ruins of Iceforge, and you were the creature itself. Due to the banishment, it wasn't able to go back exactly where it came from, but it went back to the plane of existence that it came from, which was the mortal realm. It was basically stranded and alone. You were able to kind of like shake your way loose.
I'm going to assume it died of malnutrition. It sounds like.
Well, it would have digested you if you hadn't broken your way out of it, but
I guess
you just so happened to be in an area that the Deadeyes were patrolling at the moment for their own purposes, and
All of a sudden, oh shit! Kill it.
yeah, pretty much that's how they became your traveling companions for a while. They were the first quote-unquote friendly faces you came across.
That's the funny thing. The first memory I have is me waking up in Iceforge. As far as the magicians, or anyone with magic could tell, the beast, well, after you guys did a spell to it, it had to go somewhere, and defaulted to Ironforge.
You know, was it Ironforge? Sorry,
Ice.
Right?
Iceforge.
Iceforge.
Defaulted to Iceforge. And as the thing or whatever it was trying to sort itself out, a group of Deadeyes came upon it, and it means their turf. So they had a fight with it. And in that fight, I realized what was happening. And, I crawled out of it.
Ugh, shivers.
Ugh.
Took me everything to convince them I wasn't a spawn of the creature. Mostly because one of them knew who I was. You and Deus had bitched enough about me. So, that's how I ended up with them.
So you traveled with them, and within that year, Deus killed Kageroshi. You said while he was meditating and then writing a letter?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't understand it.
Understand what?
The letter. No idea what it was for. Or who it was for. Essentially, at that point, I was one of the highest ranking members of the Deadeyes somehow.
That does track for you.
Yeah. I tried to join them, I got stabbed in the back. And then the leader who let me in got stabbed in the back.
Literally.
So Deus, finally, met his end.
Did Kageroshi ever tell you if he was my dad?
Nick. Would Kageroshi have informed Asmo of any other conversations they had?
Any conversation you would have had with him that involved Nara, anytime you would have talked to him about Nara, he would have had kind of like a... Though he's very stoic, what would essentially pass for kind of like painful expressions would cross his face for that. He would not, like, from what you understand, he isn't entirely sure if that was the case, but he certainly believed it to be the case.
Any time I ever brought you up, his face would change.
How
I don't
so?
know. Looked very tired when I asked him that question. He looked very unsure. Sorry, I'm not gonna give you a mixed answer on this one. I don't know if he was your dad. But that was the question he was asking himself to the very end. So, after that, I took over for the Deadeyes, what I could. But at that point, it was mostly just a gang of people, and I was back to square one. But, the adventures roving around with Wolfgang and Denier had made a lot of contacts. And I found myself once again being called upon to help. Ugh. That's what just makes a face. Like, we were truly fucked when that happens. Truly boned when that happened.
Well,
So here I am now. In a cave. In a volcano. Brushing my Wervin. I do feel like a villain sometimes, but I know there's far worse in this world. And we all know that everyone's a different shade of gray. It's just a matter of which direction the color's going.
true.
Denier and Wolfgang, you'd probably be wandering around the
weasel
main base by this point. You'd probably be able to see Asmo and Nara.
Looks like they're catching up.
Looks that way, he says as he shoves a piece of jerky into his mouth from some of his trail rations.
Wolfgang, the tiny little Chronosaur that's been kind of trailing at your heels, is looking up at Denier's jerky and just kind of salivating.
Ah. This thing is insatiable, I'll tell you. It's like his stomach reverses, which is scary to think about. And I'll lean down and I'll feed him a ration.
Kind of swallows it like a duck because it doesn't have any chewing mechanisms.
You can't show any fear. If you do, they'll think you're food. Yep. I'll sort of pat him on the head.
He's hungry. There's some free-range stuff that they went and caught. To be honest, we gotta save most of that for the Wervins.
Ah! I see. Good to see you. We didn't want to interrupt you. It sounded like you two were talking about some stuff.
Well, since we're not in a rush today, I was able to fill in a couple things. And if you're wondering, no, I don't have the head of Deus. Threw it in the trash.
Fitting, to be fair.
Head was too big for his shoulders anyways. So, you guys get a good rest? Huh?
Better than we've had in a couple of weeks.
God, you must be getting the crappiest nights. Asleep, to find peace in a barracks in a volcano.
That wasn't so bad.
Well, I'm a commander, so I got like cushions in my bed.
Unfortunately for me, I'm used to not getting a great night's sleep.
Got to near.
I spend most of my time making sure that demons don't attack children.
Well,
Right,
keep it up. Well, if Asmo had like a drink, well, keep it up. Just kind of tip it. All right, good on you.
Holds up your flask. All right, so the sun has begun cresting above the mountains. Surely, if you wanted to find any food, there would be some in the commissary. But for the most part, the day is yours. You have been given free rein to leave at your leisure.
Well, we can head out tomorrow. Or today. I'll be honest. Bit emotionally exhausted, so if we have one extra day of rest, I wouldn't mind it. I was in the middle of a lot of stuff when you guys showed up, and running so long, I'm just surprised the tired finally caught up to me.
That's what happens when you stop. It all catches up to you.
I don't suppose you guys have yum berries in the commissary, do you?
They, in fact, would not. It is mostly tubs of bubbling meat. Yeah, mostly that.
Cooking fat.
Yeah, lots of things, like lots of things braising in its own innards.
Tasty.
I should say.
Yes.
So,
Oh, sorry. I thought someone was about to say something.
nope.
Okay.
That's it.
So, Asmo, what is there to do around here?
Train, fight, eat, train. Cards, there's cards. There is that. And anytime we get liquor, that pretty much gets drunk up immediately.
You kind of pops out of a shadow. Did somebody say cards?
Oh.
You, is it card time yet? It's been a while since we played.
It has been.
Oh, you remember Yarrick having that big temper tantrum last time he lost, so, you know.
Well, he also claimed that you kept making up different rules.
No, I was doing that, but he still complained and whined. Yeah, I was doing that, but it just doesn't change the fact that how he was responding was poor.
Right.
Just having a little giggle to himself.
Oh, and the pass is clear. There is nothing patrolling it other than our men.
Are you sure? I feel like nothing would shock me if something else didn't come around the corner.
I will go and triple check.
And he disappears into a shadow.
He was always really good at doing that.
Still gives me anxiety. I'll never get used to shadow melding. I just never will.
Oh,
Hey, chef, give me your finest piece of meat.
A snaggle-toothed, very large, red-scaled dragonborn kind of gives you a nod. Ugh. Takes a cleaver and wham! Hacks off like the side of a leg of a deer.
Okay, I want to make sure you have not used any human parts this time around, right?
Looks left. Looks back at the meat. Looks back at you.
Yes.
I look back at him and I raise my eyebrows. You remember the time?
I do.
All right. Besides, we split the middle on that one. All the bodies go to the Wervins.
Yes.
Mm.
This is venison.
It is. Goddamn good. Someday we'll get seasonings again.
We have salt, but no spice.
The spice must flow, though.
They hoard spice in the west.
Spice.
Trading is difficult when most intruders are eaten.
That would pose an issue, I think.
So in your adventures, if you come across any spice, you bring it back. It would be very nice.
Word has that you are traveling west.
We could bring some spices back if that's what you want.
His eyes begin to kind of like glisten.
Yes.
Okay. If you want us to make it a priority to bring back some spice, I can try and do that.
Nothing
Granted, if we-
above your mission, but it would be good for morale.
Oh, you can see right there, Nara, right there. See right below the main quest? Now there's a sub-quest. See that? It says 0 of 1 of special
Yeah.
spice. We gotta go get that, bring it back. We double our XP.
Oh.
The poor cook is looking around trying to figure out what you're saying.
Oh, I know, this isn't in character. This isn't real. Good, none of this is real.
Oh no, I'm not real!
That's a horror movie right there.
Well, I guess we got ourselves a little side thing to take care of, which is same. So if we come across any deer, probably should get those too. At least a little bit. All right, come on, get your meat. Come on.
I'm imagining him just serving
Nara
it, like,
grabs Asmo.
What? No.
What?
Just the meat that
that
is
is
cooking.
Oh, food. Yes.
Takes a plate, walks off.
It's more of a
Am I
tray.
I'm just imagining
Right.
tiny little bucklers turned upside down as plates now.
Aw.
Yeah, they're basically like sheets of metal that were like kind of pounded flat.
Yes.
A lot of
flat
them
bo-
kind of scrap metal.
Excellent flat bowls.
I'm definitely not going to catch anything from eating off this.
If it's the right metal, it'll automatically disinfect itself.
The cook blinks one eye at a time, just kind of stays slack-jawed as he ladles on a plop of meat.
Oh my god.
That's nostalgic.
It's stringy meat of unknown origin, but hey, you're guessing there's definitely some venison in the slurry.
I haven't
Sure.
noticed. I noticed you're not eating your gristle. Why is that?
Oh my god. Ew.
What? You don't like nature's scum?
Ew.
I know it is truly gross, but it is nature.
Ew. Downvote.
Unfollow.
Down doot.
Yeah, down dude.
As we're just eating it wholeheartedly.
This is some fine gruel.
You know, one thing I miss is the meat house.
Aw.
Mm-hmm. You guys remember that place, right?
Yeah, that's where I met Wolfgang and Denier for the first time.
That's right. That is very much true. No, I miss it. It's a fun place. Ashes now. But,
They look over at the Dragonborn chef. Slowly, society comes back.
Scratches at his armpit before serving the next person in line.
It's very
Nature
similar.
truly is healing.
It's truly. It's just like pigs here. It's just like pigs here.
Speaking of, do you know whatever happened to Pig?
I'm assuming he died with the rest of the city.
Well, that's blunt.
Been 30 years. Nick, what happened to Dragon's Rest?
Dragon's Rest still stands. You know that just because that's where the last vestige of humanity, like, resides on this continent, for the most part. I mean, there are very small settlements throughout of, like, kind of stubborn scavenger people, but Dragon's Rest is where, number one, the resistance is, the Kylum Diaboli, and number two, where, Bahamut's light is kind of like the one thing kind of shielding from demon incursion. So it's where most sane people have decided to live.
He might still be alive, for all I know. Last time I went, that place was closed down, though. So, nothing's forever. He's just eating at the meat.
Well, and I might have to check in on him, see what's happened to him.
You all enjoy a meaty breakfast.
Meat.
Neat meat.
Meat.
And with that, the day is still yours.
So what's our plan now?
You guys tell me. I'm the one who got you passage out of here. And I'll be coming with you for part of the journey. So, my adventuring friends, where are we off to today?
Probably the next stop would be Solitude.
Solitude?
Wonder what became of them.
Asmo, you know this one. It doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's gone.
What?
Wolfgang just...
At least the city that you knew as Solitude is gone.
At least it's not called Solitude anymore.
Yeah, that
That's
place
it.
is squarely in Needhog's territory. Where all of them live now is a bit further west down the river.
They moved the city further west down the river. Does it have a name, Nick, or do we get to name it?
You know what? You can go ahead and call it whatever you'd like, because you never thought to ask about it when you were smuggling Elliot across. Or when you were smuggling people across for Elliot.
Remember how it used to be called Solitude? It has a new name now.
Which is
Lots of people.
what?
I'm joking, it's not what it's called. Lots of people. Sounds like an Italian place. Lots of people!
Lots of
Oh my god.
Lots of Solitude. I'm trying to go for the reverse of Solitude. Okay, the city was uphanded. It had to move downriver. What do we call it now? I don't know. Disturbed.
Asmo does not know what the city is called.
I don't know. I don't even know what it's called anymore, but Solitude doesn't really fit it. So,
So it's a city with no name.
oh, it probably has a name. I just don't know it. You have to forgive me. I don't know everything. Shocker. I know.
Well, and
Huh.
you would know more than us, but well, suppose we'll just have to see it.
Oh, yeah. Heading west to what is formerly known as Solitude. I feel like it's just like my memories rushing back to me. You know? Last time we went to Solitude, I didn't see you ever again.
Hmm?
At least- I remember we went to Solitude before we went to the Fae, correct?
Solitude was a long time ago.
That was
Solitude
the-
was.
Well, Solitude was the place with all the elves on top of that mountain, right?
Solitude is
Lower
right
Zone.
here.
Yeah,
Oh
Solitude
my
is
god,
the,
I
yeah,
am I completely forgotten about. Okay,
yes,
my beat.
Solitude is where all of the
That's where you guys found Daenerys again.
yeah, it's where you found
Yeah.
Daenerys. It's where all of the
It's my
animal
life's
people
homeland.
lived. All of the lycanthropes and the I don't know what the term for baranthrope would be.
It's still lycanthrope, actually.
Really? Lycan means
Lycanthrope
doesn't it?
is more of like an umbrella term.
Oh.
Yeah,
all
it
of the
was
ly-
discovered
all
by
of the lycanthropic people.
it was discovered by John C. Lycan.
Like that.
There we go.
Yeah, they left that place as soon as Nidhogg started basically making a fuss all around the area.
They had to go near the water anyways, so moving that place of living, well, I mean, makes sense.
So, how long do you think it's going to take us to get to this city which has no name at the present?
Yeah, well, Asmo slaps the Wyvern. Not too long.
Sorry, Asmo.
What?
Asmo doesn't slap the Wyvern actually. It's Asmo says, "Well,
Hey,
with the Wyvern,
Wyvern.
with the Wyvern."
how long, Nick?
Let's see. It could carry 2 people in its talons, and 2 people can ride on its back.
Oh no.
So some
I know
people are
where
just going
this
to
is
kind of be
going.
dangling. But
Oh God, who's
I
that
know
gonna
who's
be?
going to be dangling.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
honestly, you could fly down into the valley. Probably take you about an hour just to get into the valley proper.
Hey, because it was about an hour to get to the valley proper. And then it's just a matter of a couple hours of going down that river. Again, with the Wyvern, the Wyvern, whatever you want to say it. I don't know.
How's the
Yeah.
local populace treat the your kind, I guess?
They're not the biggest fans.
I would have to imagine.
But then
place-
again, neither was Nidhogg. And you managed to talk him down. So, they thought it'd be
Well,
a bit easier. Besides, a wyvern landing always sends a pretty strong message of, we got wyverns. Seriously, the amount of conversations that are way easier when the person's all scattered because the wings are still billowing wind. Now I get why people ride these.
Okay, Asmo taking us out of taking everybody out of the larder, the dining room, the lunch room, the break room,
Yeah.
the place with the Keurig.
The place where they serve food and such. Just
well, if
gonna
you
head
wanna
back
load
to the
up-
Wyvern stables.
Now, before we take off, I think we should load up on supplies here. So let's load up on
Nice.
supplies.
Sounds fine by me.
Wolfgang, get to the armory, see if there's any supplies you can use for making stuff for yourself. There's some magic books probably somewhere as well. We've looted plenty. Nara,
Yes.
don't start anything with anyone.
What? That's so rude. I haven't done anything.
I know, so it's about time you do.
Well,
It's about that time you actually do something, so I'm trying to, like, get in front of it, so to speak.
I wasn't going to do it without talking to you all first, so it's fine.
Besides, while they're off grabbing their stuff, I could, of course, also...
Wait, what?
Well, what I was thinking is, if something happens to me and we're supposed to travel with this withern, someone
Uh-huh.
else needs to be able to, pilot it. So,
Yes.
I think you should get to know Nara, because it looks like you might be flying Nara if something bad happens.
Well, that better not happen. And 2, I want to know very badly.
Okay. So,
All Alright, you're gonna get a crash course in wyvern piloting.
Okay, cool.
Also, everybody gets 11 temporary hit points at the start of the day.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, I get.
Alright.
Oh my god, I got to fill my health.
Wolfgang and Daenerys, are there any particular supplies
gave you guys
that
an
you'd be looking for?
I gave you guys an open, just open plate to just go do what you wish there for this one.
Honestly, I wouldn't. Nidhogg wouldn't happen to be keeping all the diamonds to himself, would he?
Of course.
He almost certainly would.
Oh, of course.
Fuck. Well, then never mind. I don't think I need anything actually. Other than no, I actually don't think I need anything.
Daenerys?
Spell components, spell books, spell scrolls, magical items that Nidhogg did not see necessary to take himself. Anything that anything magical that Daenerys might be able to grab. Potions, really anything.
All right, a grab bag response.
I'm trying to be general because I don't know what they have. I have a list of spells that he's looking for, but spell components are always good for spells, especially spells that consume components.
Right.
If they have any potions as well, I think we could probably do with loading up on that. But if not, I understand.
Potions you can probably do. Go ahead and roll me a d6, Wolfgang.
D6. Oh boy. 1.
You get 1 potion of greater healing.
Ooh, greater?
Yeah.
I'd be darned. Greater potion of healing.
And Daenerys, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okie doke. 10. Middle of the road.
Doesn't seem like there are any particular magic items that Nidhogg would do without.
Mm-hmm.
But you could probably find choose a level 1 scroll and you can get a level 1 spell and you can get a scroll of that.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me what it is right now, but feel free to take a level 1 spell scroll.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm playing a dangerous game.
I have an idea. I'm looking to see if it is if that particular spell is the level that I'm wanting. The spell I'm looking at is 2nd level. Shame.
Wah.
I will look into it and I will let you know, Lani.
Alright. Right now you have a mystery spell scroll on you.
Yes.
Ooh.
Alright. Asmo, what are the basics of wyvern riding that you wish to tell Nara?
Oh, it's got a
God,
lot.
oh my God,
Now
oh my
this
God.
sucker has a lot of bloodlust.
Yes.
Yeah, so you gotta make sure it doesn't do that.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No. You want it to get you from point A to point B. You don't want it stopping for every damn moving snack in between there. Otherwise, it's gonna take you way longer. So one of the things you gotta do with the wyvern, you gotta keep its eyes up. So you have to be very stern with the bridles. And if I could have any design in my head, I want to believe that the wyvern's literally... You know how horses have blinders on left and right side? The wyvern has blinders underneath its eyes, so it doesn't keep noticing things it wants to eat.
Oh my God.
Yours probably would.
Yep.
As Nara the wyvern is quite bloodthirsty.
Yeah. So, especially when you land, you have to have a firm hand on it, or it might try and eat people. And you don't want that, because it makes whatever you're trying to say much worse when you've eaten people.
Oh.
Nara the
yeah.
wyvern licks its chops.
Man,
Now,
the thing that I
also,
want. Yes.
You gotta be you gotta be the boss. You gotta be the boss of this. Meaning, if you think you're pulling hard, you probably aren't. Pull harder on this one. This thing is taking a lot of blows.
So
What?
just so that we're on the same page here, you are a lot stronger than I am. Like, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to pull the reins hard enough?
Oh, no. I don't have to pull the reins hard anymore. I've been doing it for long enough.
Right.
I'm telling you it's gonna be harder, but
Oh.
honestly, I think you're the only person it will respect if something happens to me and you need to fly this. Because I don't think Wolfgang or Denier are gonna get on top of this thing. It's just gonna listen to him. Sometimes this lizard can be a stubborn beast and needs to be taught. It should learn. Nara, and Asmo just looks over to Nara. I think you were the best at that. And Asmo just kind of winks and smiles. Now,
I think Team Hats and
Well.
Coats is going to be relegated to being in the claw duty. Anyway.
oh, you volunteered before I volunteered you.
Oh, that's
no.
nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you two lovebirds can sit on the seats.
Lenny, I believe I've selected my spell.
Sure.
It's called Silvery Barbs.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
I anticipate what the fuck it does.
I can tell you now if you'd like.
Nah, make it a surprise.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh boy.
And surprised you will be.
Sure I will.
So Nara's gonna walk up to Wyvern Nara and just see how they interact.
Animal handling.
Okay. Don't you dare fail me. Roll 20. 7.
As you walk up, the scales on Nara the Wyvern's neck begin to kind of like bristle. Its head kind of like shrinks back. Asma, you know this as a what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from me kind of a stance.
It's wary.
Well, how do we make her not wary?
You'll get a piece of meat and you gotta hold your hands down. Very flat. Very Remember when Fry fed the T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very flat.
Okay.
She'll go over and get a piece of meat and come back and flat hand it.
Oh, there was a line. Whatever.
You come back with a honk of meat in your hands. Animal handling with advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's flat.
They're
He's
flat.
holding onto the. He's only holding onto the bridle.
19.
It slowly cranes its head forward. Its neck scales begin to kind of like unbristle a little. It looks at you, looks down at the meat in your hands, opens its mouth. Its fanged teeth and wretched breath kind of like stretch forward towards you and kind of bites the meat off your hands, chews. Then it looks at you expectantly.
And now it'll trust you to bring it more food one day. So, it'll be okay with you taking the reins a little bit more.
You sure about that?
Asmo's like, patting Nara on the back. The wyvern.
Yes.
Wyvern. I'm pretty sure. It's a good girl.
Okay. Okay, sure. Why not?
You reach for the reins.
Yes.
As Asmo slowly passes them to you, the wyvern doesn't seem to break eye contact with you, like, at all.
Nara's fine with that. Pretty casual about it.
It's just watching you as you're holding the reins, like, kind of off to the side. You're not on its back. You're just kind of in leading position right now. And it kind of begins to arch itself up. Like, it goes from a laying position to... You can see it kind of shift its weight left and right as it kind of cranes its wings down to press itself up and get itself on its hind legs.
Oh, you're the coolest thing ever.
Kind of does like a little shimmy where you see the scales kind of bristle all along its back, just kind of stretching itself out. It's already been saddled. It has black armor that goes down its tail. And black armor kind of on the side of its face where its reins are. And of course directly under its eyes so it can't look directly down as you're flying.
So I'm definitely supposed to take Nara on a test run, right?
Yeah, let's fly around.
Okay, sounds great.
Gets up behind
Immediately
Nara.
scrambles up.
Asmo pulls himself up as well to be behind her while they're, Okay.
Animal handling with advantage since Asmo is also there.
9.
It kind of fights you as you're trying to like scramble up its back, as you claim. It was not ready for the fast. It was not ready for the fast motion. It kind of like jerks to the side and starts to like maneuver its head towards you.
No, it's okay.
Sorry,
It's okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
Just got excited.
All right. Can I try and calm her down?
Yeah, you already have a rapport with Nara the Drow, so it at your touch calms down a bit, chills out.
That's good. That's good. Okay. No, you have to be very careful how you start to.
Immediately like taps the reins like, let's go.
So what is this? I believe that's the volume. Floor it.
Sure enough, as you kind of like clack the reins, the wyvern begins flapping, and as it begins to lurch forward, Denier, Wolfgang, before you know it, as you're kind of like stepping back out, this massive black wyvern cranes its talons towards you and just kind of grabs you under your arms.
Oh shit!
And lifts you into the air.
What the? Oh.
From a distance, as they get to like when they finally get to a flying position, like high enough where it's just kind of coasting and not climbing speed anymore. From above, they hear,
Don't worry, guys. I'm flying.
Now this will be interesting since Nara is at the reins. Go ahead and
Yep.
give me another animal handling.
okay, great.
With advantage.
With advantage.
That's no-
Ooh,
Okay.
natural 20, 22.
Yum.
And as you're in the air, it seems to kind of like relent and just accept the way you decide to lead it. Pulling the reins one way, it'll start to crane to the side, and sure enough, after a while, you're in the air, kind of circling the Kuldara. You can see the movement below of all the Dragonborn kind of going about their daily tasks. And you pull and you hook, you start flying towards the west, which once a vast desert, still has desert arid-like qualities to it, but the lands near the water now seem, well, those outside of Needhog's territory anyway, seem to be sprouting with pasture-like life. As you fly down the mountainside, making your way towards the west and away from the volcano, here's where we will end today's session.